Are you wearing your watches? I mean, seriously. I want you to write down in the comments right now how many watches you wore this week. Was it 1? 2? Now you might be asking, why does this matter? Well, the modern watch enthusiast is a creature of strange contradictions. We spend years refining our tastes, thousands of dollars on mechanical precision, and countless hours scrolling through forums to find the perfect piece. But then a curious thing happens. We get the watch, we bring it home, and then we promptly hide it. We treat these marvels of engineering as if they were made of spun sugar. This phenomenon has created a community of collectors who are more like museum curators than enthusiasts. Today we're going deep into the psychology of the safe queen, the traps of modern collecting, and why your watches are probably crying out for a little bit of wear and tear. By far the biggest hurdle to wearing our watches in the 21st century is the investment trap. Somewhere along the line, watches shifted from being tools or status symbols to being alternative assets. And this is honestly quite sad for watch collecting. We've been conditioned by auction results and grey market price trackers to view a steel sports watch not as a companion for life's adventures, but as a pile of cash with a ticking heart. This mindset is the fastest way to kill the joy of the hobby. When you look at your wrist and see a fluctuating stock price instead of a beautiful piece of design, you've already lost the plot. Unless you are holding a piece of genuine historical significance, think a Paul Newman Daytona or a military-issued mill sub, the value you're preserving by not wearing it is often negligible compared to the cost of the experience you're missing. Furthermore, if you think about it, a watch that sits perfectly still for years is a watch that's slowly dying. Lubricants migrate and dry up, gaskets lose their elasticity. By saving the watch, you are often ensuring that the next time it actually needs to perform, it will require a costly service. For me, a mechanical watch is like a classic car. It's happiest when the fluids are moving and the gears are engaged. Okay, moving on. We are all guilty of the special occasion fallacy. We tell ourselves that the gold-coloured dress watch or the high complication piece is too much for a Tuesday at the office or a Saturday at the coffee shop. But if we audit our lives for just a second, how many special occasions do we actually have? If you're waiting for a black tie gala to wear your favourite piece, you might wear it twice a year. Over a 30-year span, that's only 60 days. You are essentially spending a fortune to own an object that you will only enjoy for 2 months of your entire life. There is also a weird thrill in breaking these self-imposed rules. Wearing a precious metal watch with a worn-in sweatshirt or taking a luxury diver into a literal swimming pool shouldn't feel like a radical act, yet it does. So I'll remind you and myself again, these objects were designed to be used. The engineers at Rolex, Omega and Patek Philippe didn't spend decades perfecting shock protection systems so the watch could sit on a velvet cushion. Or did they? Just kidding. They built them to be lived in. When you wear a fancy watch to do something mundane, you reclaim the object from the status it represents and return it to its true purpose, being a real usable tool for your life. Okay, we need to talk about the first scratch. For many, the initial scuff on a polished lug or a hairline mark on the clasp feels like a tragedy. But in the world of vintage collecting, we prize patina, the natural aging of an object. There is a Japanese philosophy called Wabi-Sabi, which finds beauty in the imperfect, the impermanent and the incomplete. A pristine new old stock watch has no soul, it has no history. It is a blank slate that says nothing about the person wearing it. A watch that is covered in desk diving marks and minor scratches is a watch that has been present for a life well lived. That scratch on the bezel might have happened when you were helping your friend move to their very first home. That faded dial might be the result of a decade of summers spent at the beach. When you refuse to wear your watch for fear of damage, you are refusing to let the watch tell your story. Years from now, a mint condition watch is just a commodity. What does it tell you about your life? However, a beat up, well-loved watch is your legacy. So talking about the burden of choice now, we often think that more is better. We assume that having a 12-piece collection, a diver for every colour of the sea, a chronograph for every racing circuit, and a dress watch for every shade of leather is the ultimate goal. But there is a silent killer of the wrist check that no one talks about, decision fatigue. Psychologically, the human brain has a finite amount of executive function to spend each day. When you wake up and have to choose between 10 watches that you love equally, you are creating a friction point in your morning routine. This is the paradox of choice. The more options you have, the more likely you are to feel dissatisfied with whichever one you eventually choose. You find yourself standing over your watch box, overthinking the weather, your outfit, and more. You think, this Speedmaster is too sporty for this meeting, or the Seiko is too casual for lunch. Suddenly it's 8 AM and you're running late, and you just grab your phone and walk out of the door with a bare wrist, or even worse, a smartwatch. Your watches aren't being worn not because they aren't beautiful, but because they have become a mental chore. This fatigue is why many of the world's most seasoned collectors eventually downsize to greatness. They realize that a 3-watch collection, for example, actually leads to more wrist time than a 20-piece hoard. When the choice is simple, the execution is much more effortless. If your watches are sitting in a box, it might be because your collection has outgrown your lifestyle. Or maybe I never had a lifestyle to begin with. Anyway, by narrowing the field, you remove the friction, and you might find that the one-watch philosophy isn't all about sacrifice. If you're stuck in a rut where you only wear your daily driver all the time, you might need a tactical shift to re-engage with your collection. The first step is the strap strategy. Often we don't wear a watch because it feels too formal or too precious on its original bracelet. Put that luxury watch on a rugged leather strap or a high-quality NATO. It immediately changes the context of the piece, making it feel more like a tool and less like jewelry. Another effective method is the forced rotation. Assign a watch to a specific week and commit to wearing it regardless of your outfit or itinerary. You'll find that by Wednesday, the newness and the fear of scratching it have probably worn off, and you're simply enjoying the engineering on your wrist. If by the end of the week you find that the watch genuinely doesn't fit your life or feels uncomfortable, that is valuable data. It might be time to move that piece along to a new home. A collection should be a rotating cast of characters you love, not a stagnant inventory of stuff you feel obliged to keep. And lastly, of course, don't be afraid to trim your collection down. I've been focusing on a core 3-watch collection, and that has suited me surprisingly well. Okay, so what's the final verdict? Why does this all matter? Ultimately, your watches are a reflection of your time. Time is the one resource we cannot manufacture more of, and these little mechanical machines are the way we choose to track its passing. To keep a watch in a box is to pause the clock, in a way. It's the denial of the very thing the watch represents. Whether it's a $50 Casio or a $50,000 AP, the personal value is unlocked only when it is strapped to a human wrist, moving through the world and witnessing the moments that make up a life. So here is your homework, and God only knows it's my homework as well. Go to your watch box or case, stand, wherever you keep them. Ignore the daily you've been wearing for months. Pick up the one you're most afraid to scratch, the one you're saving for a better day, and just put it on. Because a watch that isn't worn isn't a watch at all. It's just a very, very expensive paperweight. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't already, let me know in the comments your watches that you wore this week, and let me know if you have trimmed down your collection already. I'll see you in the next video.